putting an end to identity politics. This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
John Hannity on his program has been very critical of the Uranium One deal. The president saying, with regard to Russia, that's the real story in all of this. What would you say to those critics?
I would say it's the same baloney they've been peddling for years, and there's been no credible evidence by anyone. In fact, it's been debunked repeatedly and will continue to be debunked. But here's what they're doing, and really, I have to give them credit. You know, Trump and his allies, including Fox News, are really experts at distraction and diversion. So the closer the investigation about real Russian ties between Trump associates and real Russians, as we heard Jeff Sessions finally admit to in his testimony the other day, the more they want to just throw mud on the wall, and I'm their favorite target, me and, President Obama. We're the ones that they always like to put into the crosshairs. So, yes, I'm not surprised, but I think the real story is how nervous they are about these continuing investigations.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Kevin Jackson here. It's the Kevin Jackson Show. KJRadio.com. Hillary Clinton says there's nothing. It's baloney. She says all the stuff that has to do with Uranium One's been debunked. Meanwhile, they're reopening investigations on Podesta. They're opening investigations on this Russian company. I mean, investigations are flying. And as the old saying goes, if there's one buzzard circling, maybe something died. But if there's 50 buzzards circling, something died. And there's 50 buzzards circling around this carcass. And I was talking about the facts. Because Hillary says there's no fact. Look at all the things that are pointed to Donald Trump. And I looked it up. I'll get to that in just a second. But as I said, Hillary Clinton and the left tell you what they're thinking. They told us that that they need to look into Donald Trump because of his ties to the Russians. As Hillary Clinton knew, her tentacles were all over the Kremlin. But in order to make herself look innocent, she must expose you. It's like the person that goes to the cops and says, hey, there's a guy that was looking into my house, and I don't know, maybe he's going to kill my wife. And then the wife dies. Now, I warned you. I told you. And the cops go, well, it couldn't have been him because, I mean, he said it. He's the one that said there were people trying to kill his wife. I mean, look, I've seen far too many of these stories, these scenarios. But what I've noticed, and look, this didn't just come out all of a sudden. This is years of observation, which is what I'm good at. And I've said every time the Democrats have said, he's a racist, he's a sexist, or whatever, I go, wow, it turns out that person was racist or sexist. They'll get some undercover video of somebody going, them doggone Negroes, them stupid Negroes, and we'll have them voting for us, and we love that them stupid Negroes are stupid, and they love the Democrats, some cocktail party. And you're going, wow, that's the guy that claims to fight for the Negro. You get what I'm saying? The hypocrisy of the left. It's boundless. What are you looking for? Are you looking to cage it? You cannot do this. Harvey Weinstein is a perfect example. The NFL is a perfect example. Let's take a knee because we are so oppressed in America. Little princesses, little snowflakes out on the football field. Oh my gosh. We've been affronted. Black people are getting arrested by police. It's horrible. Oh, yeah, let me go get in my $250,000 car and go to my $1 million+ house with a police escort. It's crazy. They get away. These same black athletes, the cops show up and go, can I have your autograph? And they want to take a knee. Man, the cops are just really doing stuff. No, I don't believe that's the case. I believe it's you doing stuff to the cops. I believe it's you getting away with a lot and the cops letting you. They have people to do nothing but manage the cops for people like these NFLers. So whether it's the police and the cops and the black folks, whether it's Harvey Weinstein and women and this so-called war on women we're supposed to be having, the left put their dirty right in front of your face. Harvey Weinstein throwing party after party in the same presence of women that multiple of them in a room knew exactly what Harvey did. Can you imagine? It was like my uncle. When I was growing up, my uncle, I don't know how many times he was married or had baby mamas. But we'd go to a family reunion. There'd be at least 4 of his women there, like ex-women. And they're getting along and whatever. There's no cat fights. And I used to marvel. I'd be like, wow, that's pretty impressive. I'm more impressed with Harvey Weinstein throwing lavish parties, inviting the very people that he's molested and raped and whatever else. And they all show up and they look at each other and they don't even compare notes. They just do it. Oh, Harvey's wonderful. And they all got pictures with him. Hello, look at me. Meanwhile, Trump has locker room talk and says, man, I tell you what, these girls, when you're a billionaire, when you're like a mover and a shaker, they'll let you do whatever. And he's saying they'll let you do. In other words, they're like, please do it. Harvey Weinstein's like blocking people from getting out the door. Same as Bill Clinton. But the sanctimonious left, who, by the way, accuse us of being sanctimonious. Look at those Bible thumpers over there. Look, I'm a Bible thumper, but I would, if somebody said to me, yeah, Kevin, one of your friends, he sexually harassed a woman, or I'd be like, okay. What do you want me to say? Oh, conservatives would never do that. I would never say something like that. But I'll tell you this. Let's make sure we do know all the facts. If he said, hey, that's a nice dress, or, hey, listen, Eileen, I've noticed you, over around the office. It doesn't appear you're married. You mind if we go have a drink sometime? I could imagine that. And somebody going, he molested me. But these guys, man, they put it right in your face what they do. And then dare you to prove that you're not the one doing it while they're getting away with it. It is so ridiculous the amount of time we spend investigating Trump with Russia, when right in front of our faces, we've been saying it, we've been sounding the alarm bell for a better part of 2 years. But is that all the evidence you need? I ask a question. Why would the Russians want Trump as president when they got a deal with Hillary Clinton that gets our uranium? What else do you want? Vladimir, if he wanted anybody as president, he wanted the person he can buy, and that's the Clintons. Hillary Clinton, easily buyable. Got $145 million to put into the foundation, give Bill a $500,000 speech. Anyway, let's go and look at these other points, these factoids, these other facts around the case. The Hill. By the way, the New York Times was the first one that we talked about. Now it's The Hill. These are not the Daily Caller or Breitbart. The Hill reported that ahead of the deal, the FBI uncovered, quote, substantial evidence that Russian nuclear industry officials were engaged in bribery, kickbacks, extortion, money laundering. The effort centered around the expansion of Russia's nuclear footprint in the United States as early as 2009. The agency also found that the Russian nuclear officials had routed $145 million to the Clinton Foundation. The Obama Justice Department, run by Eric Holder, sat on the evidence for 4 years before looking to prosecute, by which time the deal had been approved. Now, I don't know how much, does that constitute as a smoking gun? The Russians are engaged in bribery, kickback, extortion, and money laundering, send $145 million to the Clintons, and Hillary goes, oh, no, it's been completely debunked. Tell you what, where's the money, Hillary? Pretty evident they did it. You can't even cover that up. It's just in your face. I mentioned this other one already. Bill Clinton received $500,000 for a speech in Moscow, paid for by a Kremlin-backed bank. Remember when they told everybody, oh, Donald Trump's involved with a bank and nothing. But here's Bill Clinton gets paid by a Kremlin-backed bank shortly after Russia announced its intentions to get a majority stake in that Canadian company I mentioned. And according to the Times, Clinton traveled to Moscow June of 2010, the same month in which Rosatom struck its deal for the majority stake in Uranium One. Coincidental? Here's another factoid. According to the Times, the Clinton Foundation received $2.3 million in donations from Ian Telfer, a mining executive who's also chairman of Uranium One when Rosatom acquired it. It received, the Clinton Foundation, $31.3 million and a pledge for $100 million more from Frank Guistra, the Canadian mining financier whose company merged with Uranium One. Now I dare the left to compare these facts to the snipe hunt that's underway involving President Trump or any of his satellites. And I looked at the anti-Trump Washington Post timeline for Donald Trump, and it's crazy. They say there's so many twists and turns in the story involving President Trump and his team and Russian meddling in the 2016 elections, and they don't give you a single twist and turn that has a fact. Not one. They can't put Donald Trump with any executive that bought anything, that negotiated anything, and they want you to believe he's guilty.
He won't stop until he's the top-rated radio talk show host in America.
What kind of weird competitive freak are you?
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.